missing. Brilliant. Right. Yes, people, it's John, it's Michael back again. We have had a couple of days off, just like the first team, from any sort of competitive matches, which when we've been playing well like we have and getting results, you do miss it. Under Sean Dyche, we couldn't wait for this whether it be an FA Cup weekend or an international break. We quite look forward to them, but a bit shit this weekend. So we thought we'd do a little video for you lovely subscribers and you lovely people, talk about what benefits a warm weather training camp has on teams. You normally get teams who are like chasing the league or chasing Europe or who are fighting relegation. When they have this break, they normally do these sort of trips, for a bit of warm weather training, team bonding, bit of togetherness to give them that last push towards the end of the season. So I'm a bit surprised when Everton come out and said they were doing one of these. So I'm going to ask Michael, what benefit will Everton get from a trip to the United Arab Emirates?
So firstly, I think the players look leggy in the last game. They look tired. They've played a lot of football. The squad is obviously not the biggest. There's plenty of injuries. So I think a few days break won't do them any harm. I think the team need a break. So that is, fundamentally the first point, one. I think it also helps with the camaraderie, the relationships, the building of the having a laugh and a joke with each other. Everton I even feel like Everton are changing in certain ways because, like today, I think they put a post on of James Tarkowski in a pair of sunglasses and chilled. And then the next picture is him hunched over, literally like. So I never think that's a bad thing. The club's obviously having a bit of a laugh and a joke. I think the fundamentals are David Moyes fancied holiday and he can get one. So he's had one. I mean, these warm weather training things, I don't quite get the point always, but a bit of a break, some warm weather. I mean, we've got nothing to play for. So why does it matter? Why does it really matter?
So we made a joke of it the other day, under the previous owner, our pre-season was a trip to Ireland, probably because he didn't want to fund or put his hand in his pocket for the trip that the players are on now, which, listen, it won't have come cheap, this. The American owners have agreed to it. I think it has a lot of benefits. I think, doing training in warm weather helps the muscles. It probably stops injuries coming in weeks to come. You're not training in the great British weather that we're going through at the minute. And I just think the big thing for me, David Moyes done an interview the other day, and he said basically it was the first time he'd spent this long with the lads, in the same hotel, seeing them day, morning, noon, night, practically. And the camaraderie. Now, you mentioned the camaraderie, and David Moyes also threw that in after talking about what sort of training they're going to be doing. And he did say, it's going to be a lot of work, but also we're going to have a lot of fun, with a lot of laughs. And it is, for me, it's camaraderie. And we all know the confidence, the camaraderie, the laughs, which the lack of laughs that they were having under the previous manager. We're now seeing it again, whether they're at Finch Farm or whether, they're in the UAE. For me, it helps massively. The timing of it, I sort of don't get, because we've got nothing really to play for. But it's a bond building exercise more for me than anything. And I think from now to the end of the season, you probably are going to see players getting less injuries, because a week in the sun, you won't kill them because it's too hot to kill them. But I just think get some warm sunshine into your bones and it'll stop the stupid niggles. And it's good, as you quite rightly say, there's players coming back from injury. Apparently Brozier's there. I'm sure I seen Dwight McNeil the other day. I might have been mistaken. But Brozier's there. He's stepping up his fitness. We haven't seen many videos. I don't know if Ndai's gone over there. I don't think his injury was as bad as what we first thought. So you're quite right with what you say. There is players coming back, and we don't want these players to break down again by training in this shitty weather day in, day out. I think it has big benefit.
It's been glorious in Birmingham actually today. It's been at solid 9 degrees, glorious sunshine. It's been fantastic.
Yeah, you're 9 degrees, but a UV level of 7 because you're closer to the equator.
Yeah, John, you're right, and I don't disagree with any of that. You know, I googled the benefits, and there is some benefits. Apparently it helps with blood circulation, cardiovascular stability, and cardiovascular endurance.
Which all boils down to stopping picking little niggles up.
Yeah, but the other thing is it improves their vitamin D. I mean, I would love some improvement on my vitamin D also because I am a pasty motherfucker. But realistically, yeah, it's a good opportunity. It's a good break, and you know the team were devoid, weren't they? They were finished under Dyche. You know, they'd been killed, and this is probably David Moyes saying, right, lads, look. You can have a bit of a break, get together, a few beers, but also you're going to have to put a bit of work in. And that's not a bad thing. It gets the manager on side as well, because there's certain players that, you know, you never know. You know, there might be players that go, oh, I love Dyche, you know, and might find it difficult with the transition to Moyes. You never know. I mean, I would be shocked if that is the case, but you never know. So Moyes has come across and he's gone, well, come on then, boys. You know, you've done it for me in the Premier League for the last 7 games. I'll do it for you now. Have a little break, you know, whatever, bit of spending, whatever you do. I don't think it's a bad thing at all. And I think for Everton, I think there's certain players that it might benefit more. I think Beto has had to play a lot of football in the last few weeks compared to what he had done previous. I think players coming back from injury, you know, Tim, James Garner, you know, it's only going to help them. Brozier's in training, you know, again, it's good to have him back. You know, we were concerned that we were going to be really light until the end of the season, but in hindsight, it looks like we might have a striker back, maybe not next week, but the week after. Chimiti was back as well. It's going to help him. So there is players it's going to help. But it goes back to that point. There's 12 of these players not going to be there in the summer. Does it really matter? I would probably argue no.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. 2 points I want to make. I can't remember thinking back. I could be wrong if I am. Put it in the comments. Sean Dyche ever taken the players away on a warm weather training camp? I don't think he ever done it. Probably didn't cross his mind. Can't remember what the other point was now.
It was probably something to do with the amount of wrinkles on your face.
Brilliant. Can't remember. Oh yeah, no. That was it. Yeah, no, David Moyes done an interview the other day, and he was saying, you know, he was asked, have you spoke about contracts to these players, you know, who are out of contract come the end of the season? And he basically said him and the freaking group have come to an agreement that until we're safe mathematically, no contract talks are going to take place. So I will be honest, for the players who are out of contract, you know, there's not many of them who are really playing week in, week out. But the players who are out of contract at the end of the season, Michael, they're putting a shift in. They've put a shift in for this manager. They've down tools for the previous manager. And I think under David Moyes, these players are going to try that little 10, 15, 20% extra to try and get another 12-month contract come the end of the season. You know, Dukes is out of contract. I think David Moyes really rates Doucouré, to be fair. Just want to say as well, say what you want about Doucouré, but congratulations on the birth of your little boy from the Blue Boys Network. Garner Guy, I think he will get another 12-month contract. Seamus Coleman, I don't think he will be offered one. He's another one, you know, he's over there with them now. Bit of warm weather training, it'll be good for him as well because he's had a lot of injuries. I think he'll come to the decision himself to hang his boots up. So you have got players there who have been performing under David Moyes. who wouldn't have been performing under Sean Dyche to try and get another 12-month contract.
I want you to go back 12 months. So 12 months today, almost, roughly. Sean Dyche took the Everton players on warm weather training. They went to Portugal. If you remember, I'm pretty sure that was the time where he playfully slapped Nathan Patterson. Now, you can also get these things wrong. You can get these things wrong. You can think you've got a better relationship with the players than you clearly have. Dyche was, I think, absolute in that bracket. He thought he had a better relationship with these players than he does. David Moyes doesn't have that problem. I wanted to just briefly talk about an interview I watched with a YouTube channel called Men in Blazers, and David Moyes was on there. He'd been interviewed. It was recent. I think it was only out a couple of days ago. And he was talking about Everton and the fans and the club and his plans. And at the end of the video, and go back and watch it, guys, if you're interested, but he clearly says this is going to be a huge summer for Everton Football Club, and the aspirations that he has is of real grandeur. He wants to push Everton seriously forward. Like, he wants us challenging for Europe soon. Hearing things like that and giving an opinion about what he's got to do and what it's like managing us as fans and a football club. He's a complete breath of fresh air from Sean Dyche, and the whole club feels funny. Whenever we talk about Everton now, I don't know about you, John, but I have a smile on my face. I talk about Everton with a smile on my face. When we had Sean Dyche, and especially coming back from that warm weather training they had in Portugal, where you're hearing players are being slapped and managers are falling out and there's fisticuffs and whatever else is going on. You sit there and you think, I wasn't smiling 12 months ago. I was sitting there thinking, what else can go wrong at our football club?
Well, you've got David Moyes coming out with comments like that. And listen, we all know what David Moyes done with West Ham, and there's a lot of fans. We have a couple of friends on YouTube who would take David Moyes back in a heartbeat, and they didn't want him to go. David Moyes was out of football for a while. He was at West Ham, then he was out of football. Then he ended up at West Ham again, and he got them their first European trophy for a long time. But might have even been their first in the history. I'm not sure. Not really bothered about West Ham. But he's had the taste of it. And then you also listen to the comments he's coming out with. And that all goes back to the first time he was at this club, who it's obvious he loves. He loves Everton Football Club. He's an Evertonian. He loves the club. He loves the fans. He loves everything to do with Everton Football Club. So he's had the taste of it 13 years ago, whatever it was. Consistently challenging for Europe. We did play in Europe under him. Then he's done that with West Ham. So what he's saying, you're quite right with what you say in that interview. It's a breath of fresh air to hear our manager's saying that, because I guarantee you 1,000,000% you would not have got Sean Dyche. I can't ever think back and remember Sean Dyche ever saying he wants to take Everton into Europe. Never. David Moyes done an interview the other day while he was in the UAE with the Everton press or whatever it is. And he said in that interview as well, he goes into Finch Farm now and people are telling him, there's people smiling around the place now. The happiness had gone, the joy had gone, loving the football club had gone. He's seeing the tea ladies going into work with a smile on the face. They'd lost it, he said, and he sees the fans, they're smiling. He sees the fans on the terraces, how much they've welcomed him back and how much the fans have accepted the team again, because the fans can see they're putting a shift in. And this all goes back to what I've said on probably 6 videos since David Moyes has been back at our club. I feel like I've got my club back. And it just, you wake up of a morning and listen, we all have different worries and stresses and what have you. When you think about Everton now, it makes you smile of the way we feel about our football club. We were miserable under Sean Dyche. It was a chore to go the game. We didn't look forward to it. And as I said at the beginning of the video, we were looking forward to international breaks and cup weekends that we weren't involved in. Now, I can't wait for the Wolves game next Saturday night. I look forward to it. I look forward to the training videos. I actually listened to more of his press conferences than what I did with the last manager, because I feel like I've got my club back. David Moyes can sense that as well, and he said that in the video. He gets Everton, and Everton get him. So for me, it's all a positive. The training videos, to get the camaraderie back within the squad that had diminished under the previous manager, it had gone. It had gone. There was nothing. And for the way David Moyes has brought the happiness back and the smiles back and give us our football club back, and the joy you see from Everton fans and the players and the fans on the terraces, for what he's done in the short space of time he's been here, nothing short of a miracle, in my opinion.
I don't think I could say it any better, John. I think that's absolutely spot on. It's going to get tougher. He's got some tough games coming, as we know. We know about, obviously we've got Wolves and West Ham, but then we've got quite a tough run of fixtures.
But you know them fixtures you talk about, Michael, the likes of, I think we've got Man City coming up, we've got Chelsea coming up. Under this manager now, you give ourselves half a chance. You do. We'll go. Obviously, it depends how we do against Wolves and West Ham, and if we get the results that we think we'll get against them two teams, then you go into the hard month that you've mentioned on here a couple of times. But we'll be going into them games thinking we've got half a chance here against the Manchester City team, who aren't playing well, and we're at Goodison. Against the Chelsea team, you don't know which Chelsea are going to turn up. So he still doesn't know his best 11, Maresca. So there's two games that we could go into. Listen, I'm not getting ahead of myself, and I'm not saying we're going to beat them two teams, but we can go into them games giving ourselves half a chance and feeling just a bit confident. Because if I think back under the previous manager, when we've done match previews for the likes of Chelsea, whether it be home or away, or Man City, whether it be home or away, we both predicted we were going to lose every time. Every time. If we can get the results that we expected to get against Wolves especially, and possibly something against West Ham, I think the predictions from me and you are going to be a whole lot different.
Yeah, I think spot on. And I think as well, when you look at the fixtures, I know it's weird saying this, but we didn't lose to these teams under Sean Dyche. We went to Arsenal and we got a draw. I think we had Chelsea at home. I think we drew. We went to Man City. We got a result. Liverpool, obviously, that game moved, and that was under David Moyes rather than Dyche. But we got a result.
Were we in as much as of a hole as what we there coming to the end of Dyche's days though at that time?
Well, to be honest, it's that the point I was really going to make is if this Everton team could go to those places and get a result at the time when they weren't attacking and they were playing rubbish football and the players were down, etc., etc., etc. Imagine what they're going to be like with Arsenal at home and Man City at home and the crowd there, and Everton. We know full well that any team that comes to Goodison now is getting a very different Everton to what they got 6 months ago. We know that.
That hard run we've got coming up for the games at Goodison especially, we can go into them thinking we can get 3 points against, as I said before, a City team and you don't know which one's going to turn up and you don't know which Chelsea team's going to turn up. I know Chelsea's away. But I think we've got Arsenal at home, and they're playing without a striker. You don't know which team Arsenal you're going to get, which performance you're going to get. They were in the league title running for quite a while. They fell away dramatically. So again, you go into them games at Goodison with the good feel factor that's around Everton right now. We can say on here, we think we might have a chance of getting the 3 points there, whereas under the previous manager, we weren't as confident. Even though we might have got results, we might have picked the draw up or an odd win, it wasn't that much of a good performance. But I think now, when Everton are winning now, Michael, we're winning playing well.
Yeah.
And that's the difference for me.
And we're winning with a suntan, hence next Saturday or whenever it is. Right, okay. I've got nothing else to add, really, John, to be honest.
No.
We have... How do I say this?
Here we go.
So we are... I'm not telling you what's going on, but me and John will be in London on Friday. I'm not telling you what's happening, but we will be in London. You will find out quite shortly after we've done it that we've been in London doing something, but we are going to London Friday to do something. So it's going to be a busy week for me and John next week because we've got some prepping to do. Well, certainly John has, because fucking hell. So, yeah, we'll be in London on Friday. Obviously, I'm at the Wolves game on Saturday. There will be the match reaction. There'll be a match preview on Thursday. And if there is any other news, we're going to try and get you a video Monday or Tuesday. At the minute, it's all dependent on what they're doing on warm weather training and whether they're getting enough vitamin D. I mean, who knows, really? But I can tell you now.
It's we've got, as you quite rightly say, a big day on Friday, match preview, match reaction. You're at the game. And then the following week, we've got West Ham. Then we build up to, is it the derby after West Ham? Then we've got the build up to that. And then John's waiting for his passport to come because me and Michael will be going to Spain on the 19th of April. So you possibly will get a video from there. I was going to say drunken video then, but I think that's the wrong thing to say on here at the minute. So you will get a video from me and Michael in sunny Palmanova as well. And we're not going on RO before you think we're bumming each other.
You've worried me a little bit there, though, John. You've worried me there because we actually go to Mallorca on the 21st of April, not the 19th.
Oh, yeah. Oh, do we?
Oh, my God.
Oh, no, that's when I go on my holiday in September, the 19th. Yeah, come on.
Jesus, could you imagine? So, yeah, look, guys, we will see you soon. Hit the like and subscribe. And, yeah, peace. I've got nothing else to add. John?
No, all done. All done.
Peace. See you soon, guys. Up the toughies. Everton. Cop-heights are...
Cop shites.
Brilliant.